Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry for the long wait for those of you who've been waiting for this video, but I went back to school. It's my last quarter, so has been kind of tying me up. But I finally got the guitar strings I was telling you about. These are these Yamaha folk guitar strings that come in the gig maker pack with this guitar, which is the Yamaha F325, and I'm gonna teach you how I change the strings on my acoustic guitars. Alright, so things you're going to need for this particular job include, well, the strings, obviously. This is the E string. I'm going to be showing you how to change the E string first. And it's cool, they come in these packages that are specifically marked when you buy these strings. Apparently you have to cut them with scissors, but I'm going to try to open them with my teeth or something. You're going to need a tuner, unless you know how to tune by ear. I don't trust myself, so I use a tuner. I explained that in the last video. And of course, you're gonna need a wire cutter and maybe a string winder, and I like this one by Planet Waves. All the information on this stuff will be in the description box, just like last time. I'm gonna try to run through this one real quick. So I'm gonna show you how to change this top E string over here and then this high E string over here at the bottom, just to show you how basically the job is just mirror image. You do it one way on the top, you do it the same way but in mirror image at the bottom. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to unwind or detune this top E string, which we're going to change first. There's a lot of different ideas out there. Some people say you should take off all your strings at once and then replace them. I like to take them off one by one. I've heard that it has something to do with the tension on the neck, and that you could possibly mess up your neck by taking so much tension off and then putting on tension again. The only reason that I would take off all the strings at once is if you're going to clean the neck and the body of the guitar, but we're not going to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and detune this string, and you can use the string winder to make it a little faster actually, if you have one. Kind of just do that. Actually, it's easier this other way. So it makes the job a lot faster if you just use a string winder, but you can do it manually and the string just kind of pops out on its own. So what you want to do is uncoil it, make sure you know which way it's going. Not sure what it's stuck on here. No, it's stuck on the A string, so be careful with that, and be careful with the ends, they might be sharp. This one's really coiled up, so I'm going to go ahead and spin it into a position that's a little more friendly, and take it out, and now the string is loose. And so what you're going to want to do is take out the peg right here, this little pin. You can use a quarter if it's really hard to take out. I can't take out mine because they're really stuck. Or you can use this Planet Wave string winder wire cutter that I got here, and it has this little indentation here that's meant just for that. And what you do is you go ahead and you fit the indentation right into the pin right there, and you pull up, and it should pull it up for you. And it fell. And then of course you get rid of your string. I like to put them on the floor in a neat pile, and then I pick them up and throw them in the trash. So make sure you locate your pin, can't lose these. And then what you're going to want to do is take your E string, of course, since it's the one you took off, and there's a packaging, open it, obviously. And so there's your E string, and these are of course the Yamaha strings, the ones that come with the guitar if you get it in the gig maker pack. And I always have a horrible time unraveling them, and that happens, so you got to be careful because you can damage your guitar's body. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to take the little ball at the end, and you're going to fit it with the pin and kind of get the ball at the bottom so the pin is resting on it, and just kind of let the string go right into that groove, and then push down, and then make sure you put enough pressure on it so that it pins it down well. Then you can give it a little tug just to make sure. And what you're going to do is you're gonna get your tuning head's eye right here. You're gonna get that parallel to your nut, which is right here, this white part right here. So you're gonna get a parallel, and then you're gonna put the string right on that little groove on the nut. And what you want to do is you want to give it, I give it 2 wraparounds. So I like to pin it down like so. Pin it down right here. It makes it easier, and then I wrap it. What is this? Counterclockwise from the inside of the stock of the headstock to the outside. So from the inside of the headstock towards the tuning heads. And so you give it a wraparound and kind of try to get it down, and give it another give it another wraparound like that. Sometimes these have a lot of tension, so it's really hard to do it. And then you feed it into the tuning head's eye hole right there, and you get it nice and tight, and then give it a little bend. I've heard a bunch of different ideas on how to bend it. I just give it a nice bend. It doesn't really matter in the end which direction, because you're going to snip off that string anyway. And so what you're going to want to do once you have the string in place is just tune it back up, get the tension right, make sure your pin doesn't pop out, so do it slow, and you're going to hear the string getting stretched, and the pin popped out, so be careful with that. Just put some pressure and put it back in. Don't be very violent with it. I know that looked kind of violent, but you just have to put a little pressure, and we keep getting this problem. If you keep getting the problem, just, you know, keep pushing it back in. Eventually it'll stay. Okay, so now that the string is in, we got some tension, but it's really wanting of some more tension. It's very loose, so we're just gonna slowly tune it, and you can hear it getting tenser. You can tune the string all the way using your tuner, but I like to get it just nice and tense, because it will, the string will stretch. So I like to get it nice and tense, and then clean up this mess we have up here, and then move on to the other strings, and then I tune them all together later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our string winder, or my string winder, which has the wire cutter at the top. If you don't have any wire cutters, you can use nail clippers. Those work fine. And basically what you want to do in my style of replacing strings is you want to get about, half the length of your finger. You see how there's these lines on your fingers? Just on the top part, about half the length of that, maybe even less. You know what? About maybe a quarter of that. And kind of measure that out. Find that on the string, and then take your wire cutter, and what you're going to want to do, see if the camera can get that there, is get that little spot right there, and then just snip right there. So you have just a little nub left of the string, and what I do with that is I just bend it down. Just forcefully bend it down, and yeah, it just stays there. And so you have your string now in place, and you do that for these other two right here. It's the same process. You take out the pin, take out the string, restring it, putting the pin back in with the ball at the bottom of the pin. Push it down, make sure it stays in place, give it a little tug to make sure it's in place. Bring your string all the way up on the inside, wrap it around this way, then put it in through the eye, which should be parallel to the nut, and then bend it in any direction really, and then tighten it up, tune it up and get it nice and tight, and then snip the remainder and just leave a little nub, and then bend that nub down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and replace the rest of the strings, but then I'm going to show you how to do it on this side by showing you how to change this E string down here, the high E string. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to show you how to do this. And that is the Song of a Lonely E String. Alright, so I've replaced all these strings right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and replace this high E string. And I'm going to go through the whole process again and show you how it works with the whole mirror image thing. So basically what I do for this E string here, it goes for these two other strings right here, which are the B string and the G string. And so I'm just going to detune it and get it off the string. Off the tuning head there. And then out of the bridge. I'm doing it manually because I don't know, it's a headache to do it with the string winder. It just feels awkward for me. Okay, so now it's pretty loose, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and loosen it up a little more. You want to give it enough slack so you can kind of get it off the head. Just unwind it, and then of course we're going to use that, put it right into the groove and pull up, and it should just come up. If it doesn't come up easily, just kind of work at it. Don't pull it too hard, just kind of keep bugging it until it gives, and it will give eventually. Okay, and so we have this E string here, and this is the first E string. It's labeled that it's the high E string, and that's what we're going to go ahead and put back onto the guitar. Oh, and I just discovered they have a little tear that you can tear. I've been using my teeth. Alright, so here's your E string. So, just kind of unwind it. Let's see. Wrapped around a couple times, so I think that should be the last one. Yeah. So you unwind it, just like before. You take the little ball, and you take the pin, and you go ahead and put the ball at the bottom tip of the pin, and have the pin kind of right it on the way down, and then just kind of sink it in. Okay, and then you give it a little tug. Pin isn't coming up, so then you go and stretch the string all the way up as far as it'll go, and then make sure that the eye hole where the string is going to go through is parallel with the nut. And then I'm going to have to switch hands here because it's easier that way. So you take it all the way up, and it's on the inside. I don't know if you can see that. It's on the inside of the the headstock, and we're going to tune this. We're going to wrap this clockwise this time. So from the inside clockwise. Alright, so we wrap it around once, wrap it around twice, and then unfortunately I did 3 wraps on this one just because it's a little awkward getting it in. I tend to do this a different way, but if I did it a different way, you guys wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm in a bit of an awkward position, but the idea is still the same. And then I'm going to go ahead and tune this, get some tension. Tune it the wrong way because I'm dumb like that. Like I've always said, I'm not the end all to be all of anything. I'm just providing some ideas, some pretty basic ideas on how to do some of this stuff, and some of the stuff I show you, some of the gear, just some basic ideas on it. And there we go, we have some tension. And of course it sounds horrible, and like last time, we're going to want to go ahead and take our wire cutter or nail clipper or whatever you're using that cuts wires, and just I just kind of estimate now. I mean, you'll get the gist of it eventually. And you just kind of cut it. That falls to the ground. You bend that. And then what I like to do just like at the last video, I like to stretch them out a little bit, give them a nice tug, put this like that. Just kind of stretch the strings out. I'm not sure how beneficial this is, but I like to do it. It seems to reduce the amount of detuning that I get as the strings kind of get broken in. Alright, and so you stretch them out, and then you're going to want to use your tuner. There's a tuner. I'm using this Korg. I believe this is GA-30. Yeah. And that's what I'm going to use to tune them. And yeah, once you have them tuned, your guitar should be restringed and ready to play. And there you have it. It's tuned and the strings are replaced and it sounds great. If the tone sounds just a little bit sharp, that's because, as I explained in my last video, I like to leave them slightly sharp when I first replace them, because they will continue to stretch and then they just kind of fall right into the right tuning. So yeah, there you go. Just a PS, while I've been away doing my school stuff and whatnot, I've also been working on my own music, my own original music, and my first demo is now out and available for purchase. And I have a YouTube channel. There'll be a link down below to that channel. Please check out that channel. There's a music video there, and there's going to be a new music video, hopefully before 2 weeks or so. There's also going to be a documentary that my friend Juan Ramirez did, on the topic of how I made my record and all that stuff. It's a great documentary. He also filmed and did most of the work for the music videos, and they're phenomenal. You should check them out. Please check out that channel. Give us some support. And yeah, subscribe, and I'll appreciate it forever and ever. But that's been my video on how I replace the strings on my acoustic guitar. If you have any questions, please comment. Remember to like this video and remember to subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.